So kind of tell me what happened this morning.
Well, it was just before 3. Obviously, we were sound asleep, and I heard a heavy thump hit the house. And because this just happened almost exactly on Christmas morning, of course, you got scared. So I knew something had happened, and my wife and I ran outside to look, and everywhere was just a cloud of dust, the dirt. All we saw through the yard was all this debris, but we didn't see a car. We looked, and you couldn't see it anywhere. Well, after we were outside looking around more, then all of a sudden we noticed that the car was on its side in the neighbor's front yard. So it appears that when he took the tree out, he was doing end over ends, because he actually went on the other side of this maple tree, and high up I've got branches torn off from where the car hit it. It's a really bad situation on this road. Edwards Road has turned into Edwards Highway. It's a cut through from Wakehampton for people going up to 385, and it's an absolute highway. It's a 30-mile-an-hour posted speed limit, but very seldom do you have anybody going even near that. There's big trucks through here speeding. There's people speeding. When they turn it into a 3-lane road for a turn lane, you have people that pass in this 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. But this is what's really bad is 2006, we had a car just missed that pole and crashed into the front wall. It was in my basement. Christmas morning, this past Christmas morning, the guy took out the same exact pole and landed in my front yard. And now we've got this one to add to it. And of course, you hear creaks or little noises during the night. As a result of all of this activity, you get a little bit leery of things anymore.
Did you know why the car was being chased, or whether it was a result of the car?
We had no idea what the original situation was until, as we were walking around out here, the county guys were out here, and one had mentioned to me that they were in pursuit of a shooting suspect. So it makes you realize why all the speed, possibly, but didn't know anything more than that. And then a little bit later, as we were all out here, then the canine units came up and they told us to all go in the house. So that was pretty much the end of that. I'm not surprised. There's a lot of activity goes on around here, and something like that is not totally unusual.
And thankfully there's not a lot of damage to your home. It's just...
Thankfully, yes. This time, because the last time the guy didn't have insurance and he just tore up my yard, so that was on me. And it's going to be the same thing here, because it's just a yard torn up in my trees, and I get to clean the mess up. Lucky me. But that's just, that's the breaks. But my whole point is getting something done. A guardrail from the church parking lot to my driveway would be great, because as speeders come through there, if they get out of control, at least they'll stay in the road. My neighbor Ward and we're a little bit nervous about all this. I mean, just for this to have been within 6 months, 7 months, it's wrong.
Kind of run down for me again this morning what happened again. Like, it was 3 a.m., you were sound asleep in bed. Kind of run down again just for me.
Yeah, that was it. My sister-in-law and her husband are here visiting. So we had all gone to bed early, and we're getting ready to go up to play golf this morning. Had an early tee time. So 3 o'clock or so, just prior to that, we hear this big boom. So jump out of bed and run outside and look, and all you saw was the cloud of dust, the dirt that was all strewn up because there's really damage along the road. And you heard nothing. Everything else was quiet. But we'd look out and you see all the debris scattered all through the yard. The part of the power pole, the brand new power pole. We've got a piece over here. And of course we've got the wheel here. Exciting.
The power pole is all over the yard.
Yes. Yes. You don't take out a power pole like that doing speed limit. So there had to be a pretty good speed that this guy was doing.
And you said you saw the car in your neighbor's yard.
Yes.
What kind? You remember, like,
it
what
was?
It looked like?
It was a maroon, newer type of Camaro. In fact, if you need to find out, there's a Chevy emblem and Camaro parts all through my yard.
That's what I was noticing, this maroon car right here.
Yes.
So what's your reaction to learning that is possibly a shooting suspect?
Really has no effect on it other than if we'd had a rail here, maybe he'd have been down in somebody else's yard.
Right. The main point you're trying to drive down is?
Slow the speeds down through here and get me a safety rail. That's all I'm asking. A little safety.
And again, the tire ran into your house.
The tire flew off from there and hit just left of that window, which could have been through the window or through my bedroom window right up on top, or the car itself. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities, but what we do have is high rate of speed, took a pole, tore up a yard, broke a tree, hit my wall, and I'd say it was fortunate for the neighbors that it got wedged up on a tree, because it could have been in front of his house. We have, quite often you see county patrolling out here to try to hold the speeds down, and that's great. And you can tell when they're in the area because everybody slows down. They do a great job, but they're so thin they can't patrol this. I don't know anything else to do unless you put speed bumps all through it. Right. And obviously that's not the answer either. But all I want is safety. Get me a rail.
And you only saw cops out here whenever the accident happened, basically?
Just last night, yes. But I see them out here frequently patrolling, trying to keep speed down. But not at night. 3 o'clock in the morning, there's not a whole lot of traffic out there.
Right.
So they had to be up to something.
So did you see anything when the cops got out here? Like you said, you saw canine dogs?
Yes, they brought a canine dog out because obviously they were looking for the suspect at that point.
Do you know if they found him?
No, I don't.
Okay. So what was your reaction to hearing that they haven't found the suspect?
Well, I was armed. Yes. Not afraid to admit that. I have family to take care of and protect.
So you're not worried?
Not worried. I was. I felt more protected at that point, but that's their job. But my job is to protect my family.